Okay, so we will continue in the higher session. The syllabus is actually similar. If you check, it's similar to the one in the senior, except that the questions they set will be different. Yeah. So what we will do is we will revisit the life of the Buddha, and then we will also have a different approach now. It's more proactive, and then we try to understand the significance of that event. And it helps you to answer the questions in the exam. So we have to understand the significance of those events. For instance, we start with this. Again, we've got this. All those who have attended the senior class will know this is Dipankara, Buddha Dipankara, and then that is Sumedha. Yeah. So only thing here is we would like to tell you here is actually, let me see. Got my right slide or not? Okay, so here maybe what can you tell me lah? Or basically let us be more proactive. What can you tell me about this picture, about this event? Basically from here, what can be derived at? Maybe we can say who is Buddha Dipankara? Yeah. Maybe things like that. We're going to approach that way. What is the difference between Arahant, Paceka Buddha, and Sama Buddha? This was covered in the senior lesson, so we will not cover that again. Unless somebody wants some clarification, we will revisit this. Otherwise, we will not revisit this. Okay. So what I have observed is from here, I would think that we can also know that the period of Dipankara Buddha was the fourth Buddha from the 28 Buddhas. Yeah, if you know the 28 Buddha Sutta, number 4 is him lah. Okay, we will touch on that later. And then that he predicted, so those in red are the ones that I want to discuss with you. The Buddha Dipankara predicted that he will become the Buddha after the Kassapa Buddha. Okay, so the impact is this. Number 1 is he was the fourth Buddha. Now, there is a controversy on this, because some people will say that there are only 7 Buddhas in the early suttas. Correct? There are some disciples say, oh no, there's no 28 Buddhas. There are only 7 Buddhas in the original Pali text. Okay, fine. We can accept that kind of, because this is, but our text here is based on the Buddha Vangsa. Which is from the Khuddaka Nikaya, the 15th book, I think, which is also disputable. Many people don't agree with that. They say it's a later edition now. Okay, but anyway, we are basing on that. So, okay. The other point that we want to talk about is the Buddha Dipankara predicted that Sumedha will become the Buddha after Kassapa Buddha. Now, what do we understand from here? We understand that actually every Buddha, we have to remember, every Buddha, in order for him to become a Sammasambuddha, the previous Buddhas must predict. This is one of the conditions, That is also one of the conditions of a Sammasambuddha. He must also predict the future Sammasambuddha. Let us not overlook at this kind of points. Okay, so this will help you later when you answer your questions in the exam. So we will pick this up, the Buddha Dipankara predicted, we know that one of the main functions, the Buddha, a Sammasambuddha must predict the future Buddha. Yeah? And then for a person to become a future Buddha, he must have been predicted before. Otherwise, he cannot become a it is one of the qualifications, Okay? So now, we go to the bit of the controversy is, of course, the 7 Buddhas antiquity. We told you before, that actually in the early Buddhist texts, they only say there are 7 Buddhas, but now suddenly I mentioned 28 Buddhas, where I got it from, okay? So, okay, in the early Buddhist text, they say only there are 7 Buddhas. So there are some people who will not agree with 28 Buddhas. They say there's no 28 Buddhas. So the 28 Buddha Sutta is, don't know what they want to call it, Okay, so there are only 7 Buddhas: Vipassi, Sikhi, Vesabu, Kakusanda, Ona, Gamana, Kassapa, Gautama. Okay, or Gautama in Pali actually. Okay, so these are the 7 Buddhas only, in the original text. Yeah. But the Buddha Vangsa, which is the Chronicles of the Buddha, which again, like I've said, is the Khuddaka Nikaya. Here they mention about the 27 Buddhas before Gautama Buddha. So that's where they got it from lah. So in the Buddha Vangsa, which is the Chronicles of Buddha, which is I think the 15th book of the Khuddaka Nikaya, which is actually disputable lah. Many say that this is a later edition. Yeah, later edition. So many will not accept that, you know. Many people will not accept this book and will not accept that as a truth lah. Okay, so now we will talk about, okay, so this is where the Attavisati Parita. Okay, Attavisati Parita is the protective chants of 28 Buddhas. So that's where these 28 Buddhas come from. Yeah, although in the early text we say there's only 7 Buddhas, but also from the Buddha Vangsa there were 27 Buddhas before Gautama Buddha. Okay, so it is very interesting, but of course it's difficult for you to remember the sequence unless you chant. If you learn to chant this protective chant, which is a very popular chant, very popular chant among the Theravada Buddhists, you notice that on big occasions, on grand occasions, on happy occasions, they will chant this sutta. Okay, for the benefit of those of you who are not doing chanting, I shall go this once because we are also promoting chanting. So if you like to join our class, I will be starting a new chanting class. I think after the Chinese New Year, you wait for the announcement. I can join our new class. I know. So okay, basically, for you to remember the 28 names, which is quite difficult, but if you chant them regularly, you can remember them by heart. Yeah. So I'll just give a demonstration. Allow me for 2 minutes to give a demonstration of the chanting. Tanhang karo mahaviro medan karo mahayaso saranang karo lokahito dipang karo jutindaro kondanyo janupamoko mangalo purisasebo sumano diro revato rativaddano sobito guna sampanno anomadassi januttamo padumo loka pajjoto narado varasarati padumuttaro sattasaro sumedo agga puggalo sujato sabba lokaggo piyadassi narasabo attadassi karuniko dhammadassi tamonudo siddhatto asamo loke tisso varada sambaro pusso varada sambuddho vipassi ca anupamo siki sabbahito satta Desa Busuka Dayako Takusando Sattavaho Punagamano Rananjaho Kassapo Siri Sampanno Gotamo Sakya Pungavo Te Sang Satchena Silena Kanti Metta Balena Cha Tepi Twang Anurakhantu Arogena sukena chati attavisati me buddha puretva dasa parami jetva marari sangamang buddhatang samupagamong etena sajja vajjena hotu te jaya mangalang. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So that's how it sounds. So if you can chant, then you can remember the names and the sequence of the 28 Buddhas. Otherwise, it is not important. I don't think the exam will ask you who's the 7th Buddha, who's the 18th Buddha and all that. They don't ask you such things. Maybe in the senior level, in the objective question, maybe they do. But for us, except that I just want you all to know that one way to remember the names of the 28 Buddhas is through chanting. And then these are the 28 Buddhas. These are protective chants, very popular chants, and that is one way to remember. Yeah. So now, if people have a dispute, they tell you where do you find the 28 Buddhas? There are only 7 Buddhas shown in the Nikayas. You tell them that it is from the protective chants of 28 Buddha, which is found in the Buddha Vangsa. In the Buddha Vangsa, we have got that. So, of course, this is disputable, I say lah. People might want to dispute. So, these are the things that we have to remember lah. So, today's class is just to explain to you how to approach these things lah. So, those not important pictures, this is what we taught last year. This is about the dream, and I don't want to analyze about the dream, but it's very interesting if we can also lah. You know, it should be very interesting if you want to, but maybe we should not lah. I think we don't waste too much time. Okay, now this is important now. Okay. Now, this is important now. Now, when Prince Siddhartha was born, yeah, it was on a full moon day, May 623 BC. Okay, we all know that, you know. And then we know that according to legends, that when he was born, he took 7 steps, you know, and each step a lotus flower appeared at his feet. At the 7th step, he stopped and he declared, I am the chief of the world. Eldest am I in the world. Foremost am I in the world. This is my last birth. There is now no more coming to be. So anybody wants to comment on this, you know? Whether or not, you know, do you choose to believe this or just wrap it off as a fairy tale? Sometimes we say these are only fairy tales, brother. Don't worry so much about this, you know? You know, what do you want to say about this? You know, come, let's get some volunteers so we can get to know you better also. Because many of you are quite new to me. I think Samret is new. Chukan is an old friend of mine. He's in the chanting class. Doris is okay. Doris is an old friend also. Mingsi is an old friend. Our top student is here with us. Who else? Tan C. Is that Tan KC? Yes. Tan CC, I don't catch because. Okay. You are new with us, Okay. Lan Hun, I don't see your picture. So, Suzy Chu. So, anybody wants to comment on this? You know, do you want to choose to believe this or just, you know, sometimes people will tell you stories that all these are fairy tales for children only, you know. You know, what our comments since we are doing higher level, we should be able to analyze this sort of thing and, you know, put some sense into this kind of fairy tales. Do you think they are fairy tales? Do you think the Jataka are all fairy tales? You know? So things like that, Okay. So anybody wants to say something? You want to take it as a fairy tale? Fine. You know, it's okay. So any volunteer? Anybody wants to say whether this is a fairy tale or you think it is not a fairy tale? So this is our kind of discussion now, Less notes for you, but if you put up all these things, I'll write it down for you, and then the notes will come later. Or then I will share the notes with you, Okay. Okay. Anybody want to try? If not, means I will want to refer to you that I will not take this as a fairy tale. Personally, I will not take it as a fairy tale. Yeah. So maybe okay. Let us get Mr. Mingxi to say something. Mr. Mingxi, since I know you very well, so. And your name is always a tip at my mouth, so I must call you first.
Hello, everybody. Okay, thank you, Brother Tan. I think whether it is a fairy tale or not, at the moment, because of our limited knowledge, our limited wisdom, we can just take it as it is. So we don't need to classify as a fairy tale or not. Maybe due to my ignorance, I am unable to accept it. But another person has more wisdom, has more insight, can see that the words means more than just eldest am I in this world or this is my last birth. That's my take lah. It is not necessary for me to identify at the moment because I have a lot of ignorance. But there are a little bit of comment lah. If he knows that this is his last birth, then if he declares, the small little baby declares, Siddhartha declares that this is his last birth, which means to say that he is very sure that by striving very hard, he's going to end samsara. And that will spur him on to work for that, how many years? 35 years? Before he achieved Nirvana.
Okay,
Okay.
sister, thank you very much. Okay, anybody else want to
Thank
say
you.
something? Any other volunteers? You want to take it as a fairy tale, or you want to justify that it's not fairy tale, you know?
I think he's too young to speak.
Sorry, who's that?
I think it's a fairy tale because he's to speak at the time.
Okay, good, good. Okay, there is an opinion. Yeah, we accept that. Who's that? From somewhere, is that?
Maybe.
Mr. Tan CC.
Oh, okay, okay, Brother Tan. Yeah, okay. Okay, very good. Okay. We can accept both, you know, but this is only a discussion. So yeah, in your exams, you can give your opinion. There's no problem. But what I would choose to believe, because if I refer to the 5 niyamas, remember, this is universal kind of thing that we say that not everything operates on karma alone. Remember, not everything operates on karma. It's also dependent on the 5 niyamas. Correct? And then karma is only one of the 5 niyamas. Remember, so this we have done in your senior class, I guess. Yeah. The first niyama we say utu niyama, that's physical inorganic order. Yeah. Sometimes you got mountain moving and all those things, a flood and all those things. We don't blame on the karma all the time. It is actually because of that. People don't do proper drainage in the city, so it floods law. So we don't blame on the karma when it floods. It is poor management. Okay, so sometimes we say the bija niyama, we say organic order. Sometimes you are born with certain genes and that make us sick. Okay, fine, we accept all this, you know. Not karma all the time. Only one, number 3 is for karma niyama. We agree that yes, it is due to karma. But number 4 says it's order of the norm. In other words, and okay, let's go to number 5. 5 says order of the mind or psychic law. There's consciousness. All this consciousness and all that. We are not going to go into this because this is not part of my discussion today. But I will choose to comment that it can be true because order of the norm. Because you see, in our life, how many times have we witnessed the life, the birth of a Buddha? I don't think any of us have witnessed. Maybe we did long time ago. We do not know lah. So birth of a Buddha happens in many eons and one time. You know, correct? So why can't this order of the norm happen? Order of the norm means something special happening in the world. You know, special happening in the world. Then there are some kind of things that are different. There are some miracles. The birth of the Buddha is a very rare thing, very rare thing. So that's why you see the birth of the Buddha, death of the Buddha, you got flowers coming down from the sky, you know, and then you got when birth of the Buddha, you got music in the air, you got everything like this strange, and the whole place smells nice. These are the phenomena that happens only during the birth of a very great person. And how many very great persons birth have we witnessed, you know? So we cannot say this is not true also. So I think this order of the norm, I do not know, but from what I would use this, these 5 niyamas, and number 4, Dhamma niyama, will support that it is quite true. Although, yes, he was born very young, he can't speak. Of course. You base on today's kind of standard, of course, he can't speak well, but you base on the Dhamma niyama, order of the norm, when a special child is born. I remember, you know, when I was in school, I read Shakespeare also. When I was reading Shakespeare, and then when Caesar wanted to go to the Senate, that day it was thunderstorm there, thunderstorm and all those things. So the wife said, don't go to the Senate today. See, because of the bad weather and all this is predicting something bad happening to you. So of course Caesar didn't believe it. Caesar said, what do you mean? Even beggars are born also, you're going to have thunderstorm at home. Thunderstorm every time. When beggars die, also got thunderstorm. She says, no, but they are beggars, but you are the king. That's the difference, you see. So that's also written by Shakespeare. So I would believe in that. You know, things like that. I'm not saying believe, but I would use this as part of my justification. And when Caesar went to the Senate, Brutus killed him, remember? So this is all predicted by the weather, you know, because he was a king, he's not a beggar. And beggars die, nothing happened, don't worry. Okay? So, I will justify that way. I will use the niyamas as one of the justification and say that these are not fairy tales, just telling us for fun. And also when you come to Jatakas later, also you notice that some are very strange Jatakas, but there is a purpose for all the Jatakas. Okay? So again, we say that when the Buddha was born, Can you see my screen? Can, do I need to enlarge it for you?
Yeah, enlarge a bit.
Can, better, isn't it? Okay, this is just, this we did last year. Last year we said that now he was number 2, this was during the time of the religious and social transformation. When he was born, there was where a lot of peoples were disputing the Brahmanic Vedas and Rig Vedas and the Yajur Veda and Sama Veda and Atharva Veda. You know, things were going on like that. You know, that's why he was born in that period. So then, of course, they're practicing the 4 caste system. Then he promoted the Kalama Sutta. Kalama Sutta is another interesting one that we have to give our comment on what do you mean of Kalama Sutta. And Vasala Sutta, what do you mean by Vasala Sutta, you know. But I don't think I'm covering that for this session, okay? So basically tell you when he was born, this was a period. I'm just going through a bit of life history and then we comment a bit here and there if you want to. Yeah? Yes?
May I share my opinion on this? Well, if we are teaching the kindergartens and the standard 1 students, you know, this dramatizations of his birth and with the walking, and he's able to walk with the lotus, and then he could speak, I think is something to catch the imagination of the very young children who's learning Buddhism. But in adult class, we have to be sure that this is actually had taken place, because most of the Buddhist book, serious Buddhist book, adult Buddhist books doesn't capture this walking and this lotus and declaring. At most they only mention well, the mother had a dream and noble birth, at this Lumbini Park, and finally raised as a normal child. But he's exceptionally smart, well-behaved child. I think that is the more serious studies. But for younger students, like kindergarten, when you introduce Buddhism, this is something nice, pictorial, and teaching them to understand the Buddha comes from this angle. That's my opinion.
Okay, fine. We can accept. Don't worry, we can accept all your opinion. There's no problem. Another strange thing is I did not want to comment was the mother gave birth was standing. You know, don't rule that out again. You know, because during that time, if you read history, during that time the Indians, when we say India, it's northern India those days. The culture was to give birth standing. You know, so it is not something strange, something different. But these are different. We don't go to that level. But actually, that was a culture then. They give birth standing those days. Okay? It's nothing special about her giving birth standing under the tree. There was a normal process those days. Okay? So anyway, I would agree with you that this is not found in like I've said, many historians will dispute because this is found in the Chronicles of the Buddha Vamsa, which is the 15th book of the Buddhaka Nikaya. So that's why they dispute, they don't accept that. Some don't accept that. Okay, but this is definitely in the books, this is in the Nikayas, and which is in the Buddhaka Nikaya, I think the 15 book, I think. That's why they disputed. People don't accept that. So this naming ceremony is not important, but we did this during these are not all not. I don't wish to comment on this. You know, okay, this is his family tree. We don't comment on this anymore. The 4 sites also, I think we all should know. The 4 sites also, we have to remember that we cannot say that the Buddha has not seen an old man before, the Buddha has not seen a sick man before, the Buddha has not seen a dead man before, you know. This is so people don't believe you anymore. We cannot say that he was brought up in the palace where he doesn't see old people. All that. Not true, you know. Only thing is what we are saying is that the sites convincingly prove to him the inexorable nature of life and the universal ailment of humanity. Why do I have to be born, subject to birth, decay, disease, death, and sorrow, and all those things? So that was the thing that triggered him. Not because he has not seen that before. We will not go through that, we will not go through this. So, and then of course we will not go through this. Okay, the charity, all that, we did it in the other class. Okay, so all this. Okay, now come to King Bimbisara. How much time do I have? Okay. So come to King Bimbisara. Actually, I have not shown it. I got a slide somewhere. What is significant here, okay, of course, we are not going to, I'm only touching on things that I did not discuss during the senior period. King Bimbisara, what do you think is significant is to me is his wife Kema, which we missed last time. We did not discuss that. This is useful for you. That's why I got. So when it comes to King Bimbisara, I will touch on his wife Kema, Queen Kema. Okay, remember? Queen Kema, if okay, who can tell me generally what is Queen Kema? What is she known for, Okay, Queen Kema is the wife of course, King Bimbisara. Let us not go into detail whether she is the wife or she's a consort or she's royalty or not royalty. That is another big dispute. We don't worry about that. But what is significant here is Queen Kema was a very proud queen. She is very beautiful. She's very pretty, very beautiful, and she refused to go and see the Buddha. Although King Bimbisara, don't forget, King Bimbisara was a very strong supporter. Without his support, then Buddhism would have flourished. Buddhism flourished because of support from royalty, and King Bimbisara is one of the very strong royalty. So this is part of your facts that you have to write this year. So King Bimbisara, a strong supporter of the Buddha. It's a royal patronage. He has a beautiful wife, but of course he wants her also to be a good Buddhist. But she is too proud. She is too proud of her beauty. She's so pretty that she says, if I go to the Buddha will not appreciate that beauty. The Buddha, he doesn't appreciate all these things. So she refused to go. Until the king lured her there by getting some nice musicians and nice singers to go and see her, and they recited, they sang beautiful, they sang songs of the monastery where the Buddha stayed. Beautiful monastery, they described in such a way that the monastery was so beautiful. And then Queen Kema is always attracted to beautiful things. So when she heard that the monastery is so pretty, so nice, so beautiful, so so comfortable, so she decided to go. She decided to go just to go and take a look at the place, not to visit the Buddha. She never wanted to visit the Buddha. So when she went there, the Buddha was in the hall. The Buddha was in the main shrine, and of course, the Buddha with his psychic power knew that Queen Kema has come and knew that she is very proud of her beauty, and so the Buddha wanted to actually share the Dhamma with her. So what did the Buddha do? The Buddha made her see. The Buddha, through his psychic power, made her see the beautiful maiden, beautiful, much more prettier than her, fanning the Buddha. So as the maiden was fanning the Buddha, the maiden aged. From a very young girl, she aged to a middle-aged woman, and then she became very old. Look at the picture, the old lady is there, so she became very old, and then she died. Okay, so this was the thing that Queen Kema can see. Queen Kema saw this vision, that there was a pretty girl fanning the Buddha. Others couldn't see, only her. So fanning the Buddha, then as she was fanning, became middle age, then became old, and she died. Okay, and then that is where she realized that her beauty is not permanent. That's where the Buddha knew that's the best time for her to teach her about impermanence. So she learned impermanence, and she became a very strong supporter of the Buddha. She became an arahant. She is known for her wisdom, next to Sariputta. Man wisdom is Sariputta. She, lady wisdom, number one is Queen Kema. So she became one of the key lady arahant for the Buddha. Okay, so that's where you have to remember. Her contribution is she is actually eventually she became the arahant, and then she is actually right hand man to the Buddha in the ladies in the Bhikkhuni order, and she's known for her kind of wisdom. Okay, now what do we learn here again? If you want to comment on this, what do we learn here? We can say that even those days at the Buddha's time, the Buddha was using visual aid, Don't forget, the Buddha is also a master of using visual aid. Like today, you have to teach you all, you have to use visual aid. You see, I'm going to struggle and learn how to do all this PowerPoint, you know. But the Buddha used this long time ago, actually. The Buddha was using, so you can use that later when you talk about the qualities of the Buddha. The Buddha as a unique person. You must quote stories, you know, yeah. You can't just say that the Buddha is known for this, the Buddha is known for that. No, but you must quote an incident. You either quote it from the scripture, or you quote it from the Dhammapada, or you quote it from the Jataka to support your point. So we can say that the Buddha is actually used. The Buddha has used actually also visual kind of aid those days, and then we can give Queen Kema story as one of them. It may support your answer. Okay. So remember, Queen Kema is more on visual aid for us for our level. We say that the Buddha has used that Okay. Okay. So we went to Bimbisara just now.
May I share one significant point about Queen Kema? Queen Kema, as a layperson, when he took to Buddha as her teacher, she listened to one sermon. I do not know which sermon she has listened to. As a layperson, she became the first layperson to attain enlightenment without joining the monastery. That's right, the order.
Yeah.
And she attained enlightenment. Then only she became a bhikkhuni and joined the order full time. I mean, after that.
Yes.
This is something very significant.
Yes,
because for a lay person to attain enlightenment as a lay person is really very rare, except King Suddhodana, father of the Buddha. He also attained enlightenment as a lay person.
Okay, good brother. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I forgot to ask you all any more contribution? Okay, that one will be actually you can relate to this story because you see, when she saw that this pretty lady aging, you know, when she saw this pretty lady aging, maybe I didn't focus on this point, I didn't stress. And then this lady became at par with her in age and in beauty. Then later she became very much older. Then she became, wrinkled, and then she died. So that was the point where she realized that her beauty is not permanent. Yeah. So the Buddha, through his psychic power, knew that now she is realizing that her beauty is not permanent. That's why the Buddha taught her on impermanence. And that's when she became enlightened. When she understood impermanence. To understand impermanence actually is very difficult. There's another stuff which I cannot tell you now, whereby, you see, the Buddha says, okay, the order, okay. To understand impermanence is actually, you are enlightened. Okay, now let me refer to you one sutta, the order of the merits. Remember the Buddha once said okay, anyway, never mind. Okay, the Buddha once said that to give dana to an animal, you get certain amount of merits, isn't it? But if you give dana to a human being, the merits is very much bigger. 100-fold bigger, maybe. 100,000-fold bigger. But you give dana to not a simple human being, to a human being who is actually, let's say, is an ascetic. He's more holy than a normal human being. That is even higher, the Buddha says. But if you can give dana to a sotapanna, even very much more higher. Remember? This sutta, this is called order of merits. And then the Buddha says, if you have a chance to give to an arahant, that is fantastic. Correct? And what more? If you have a chance to give dana to a Pacheka Buddha, oh, that is, anyway, you can't imagine the amount of merits, okay? And not forgetting, the Buddha says, even if you have chance to give to a Samma Sambuddha, don't forget, that is our ultimate. We think that, wow, you can give, that is fantastic amount of merits again, billions full, but don't forget, the Buddha says a moment of realization of impermanence is even bigger. Don't forget. So what does it mean? You see, a moment of realization of impermanence is even bigger. It's even more valuable than giving dana to Samma Sambuddha. Yeah? Okay, so that means that to realize impermanence actually is a very great thing. To realize impermanence is actually enlightenment. If you can realize impermanence, we don't realize, we only know. All of us only know impermanence. So we see keep to our body, we see keep to a lot of things. We have not realized. But a moment of realization, the Buddha says, is very much bigger than giving dana to even a Samma Sambuddha. Okay? So I think you can correlate that way if you want to, brother. Thank you very much for highlighting, brother. Okay, please contribute. Whenever you all have chance to contribute, please do so. Okay, so we were at okay, so let me see. These are all that we discussed last year, so I'm not going to repeat them. So I will just skip and see what are the important points. What is the significance of the Buddha learning from Ramakutta, things like that. And what is the significance of the Buddha, the Buddha fasting so much, the Buddha fasting and became skeleton, what the significance, just to go through this, to analyze, because when we do higher certificate, we have to analyze all these incidents. And then it gives you idea on how you want to answer the questions later. The questions they ask are very strange questions. Not actually life of the Buddha. They ask you things like that. The Buddha is the Buddha is known as a doctor of deathlessness. Please elaborate with suttas, elaborate with evidence, things like that. That's why I'm going through this for you. In life history of the Buddha, we will capture whatever little that can help you in future. Okay? Okay, then again we have got these three beautiful ladies. This supposed to be daughters of our Mara, remember? Mara's daughter, So that one you can read there from the textbook. I put here last time that Mara Temptation refer to textbook 2432, refer to supplementary notes. I gave some supplementary notes those days also. Okay. Okay, so this is the raga and the tree. Sorry. Okay, anybody wants to comment on this? This is quite straightforward, Anybody wants to comment on it? On this tree, we can say that these three are our inner temptations. These are our inner temptations. And then when Mara sent in all those ferocious elephants to attack the Buddha, all those armies and all those things to distract the Buddha when he was about to attain enlightenment. I call this the last hour. I call it the Siddhartha's final hours. That's where actually we understood that, Mara okay, so the final hours where Mara, we will say that sometimes the threat we have are external threat. That's where the elephants and all those things that Mara sent to disturb the Buddha, to distract the Buddha, those army, those demons are all real external threats. Those are actually our external threats. And the three daughters, that inner, the karma, sensual pleasures, arati, evasion, dislike, and arouses, strong feelings, and all these things. So those three are actually, we can say that those are our inner enemies, our inner temptation. So the Buddha overcome all these sensual pleasures and all this aversion and things that, things like that. Okay. So we will explain that as that lah. You have to explain that. Okay. Let me see what I want to say about. Okay. Now, okay. What is important actually, the night of enlightenment. Night of enlightenment, they will describe the three kind of stages. His first watch of the night, he developed the power of seeing and remembering previous lives. Remember? Then one, then two, then numerous, then even numerous dissolution and evolution of many world cycles. He was watching this, he developed the power to remember this. Life after life after life and many lives, Second watch, he was able to see death and rebirth of beings that are due to causes and effect dependent origination. Yeah, he contemplated on paticca samuppada. Okay, and the last watch of the night, he realized the noble truth of suffering, dukkha arya satcham. Yeah, noble truth, cause of suffering, dukkha samudayam arya satcham. And then the noble truth of the cessation of suffering, dukkha nirodha arya satcham, and the noble truth to the way to the end of suffering, dukkha nirodha gamini patipada. Yeah. Okay. So what is significant here? Anybody wants to comment? Because I have actually bolded this number one only lah. I don't want to go through the rest, huh? The rest, I think you know. Okay, what do you mean by he has developed the powers of seeing, remembering previous lives? First one, then two, then numerous, then even numerous dissolution and evolution of many world cycles. What does that mean? Can anybody comment? What is the significance of this life? All the significance that he can see so many lives and life and life, so many world cycles and world cycles and world cycles. Huh?
Brother Tan, maybe this is to show that he has been wandering in samsara for so long and so long until it is like endless. There are so many lives that he has been wandering, and at the same time we are also wandering. So he has the ability to see. We don't have. Even 1 week ago, so we forgot already.
Correct. Very good. Okay, good sister. Okay, anybody else, please? So anybody else want to guess? Go ahead. Every answer you give us your opinion. It cannot be wrong, don't worry, because you can use that in the exam, something like that, Because we have to be more analytical now, lah. We cannot just learn things like that, lah. We have to be more analytical, Okay, anybody else want to try? Can I just name somebody? Somebody I know, is it? Doris, you want to say anything, Doris? Or somebody I do not know now. Doris, you not going to say anything?
No.
Okay, then Brother Tan KK? Tan KK, is that? Brother Tan?
Brother, can this be one of the what's that criteria for arahanship? That everyone who achieve this arahanship would have to go through the same experience.
Okay, brother, good, okay. These are all your opinion, I cannot be wrong, Okay, actually, for me, okay, we have to remember, for me is, you notice that sometimes some religion says that there is a creator. Remember, we have a creator, we go back to our creator. Correct? The world was formed by so and so, by the creator God, and then we live here, eventually we die, we go back to him. Correct? Now, one of the ways I think we can say that because these people, I can't quote the sutta for you, because these people, when they do their meditation, they have gone to one life, yes. They've gone to 2 lives, yes. They've gone to 3 lives, yes. They've gone to 4 lives, yes. Maybe, I don't know, up to a certain limit, but they can't go further. They can't see anything else. So they say there must be a creator, there must be end of the world. They can't see anymore because they don't have that kind of mental, spiritual ability yet. Right? So that is why in other religions, maybe we have got we have the beginning of the world and end of the world, the creator and end of the world. But in Buddhism, the Buddha says, well, this is part of your exam questions later. In Buddhism, there is no beginning of the world. Right? Because the Buddha has gone through many cycles, he's gone through and visited more beyond all the people that they can visit. He went to beyond and beyond, evolution and many world cycles. He can't see the beginning. After having gone through so many world cycles, he did not see the beginning was here. So that is why in Buddhism, our beginning of the world is a different answer than others. We don't have a creator. This will be my last lecture on the beginning of the world. That's why I want to highlight to you now. Maybe we will go more in detail, or you can read up more, and then maybe in the last lesson we can discuss more on this. So basically, it's because the Buddha has gone through many world cycles through his meditative powers, and he cannot see the beginning. While others, maybe they've gone through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, maybe, but they can't go further. They tell you there must be a creator. That's why we have got creators. We don't have. But the Buddha has gone beyond that level. That is how I will look at it. Okay, the second and third, maybe you can analyze yourself, but this is not part, I don't see this as part of the exam questions. But this, yes, this is part of the exam question. You can quote this. We can quote this later for the beginning of the world. Because we got another part is the beginning of the world, the origin of the world. That will be my last presentation. So I just highlight a few things like that first, and then you will. What is this? Buddha's enlightenment. Okay, I defined for you that way. I think this we have done before. I say that the Buddha sought answers to the problem of suffering and the continued cycle of birth, death, and rebirth, which he witnessed all around him. He rejected the path complete self-denial. He completely rejected that. You can see that one, the picture where he became so thin, and rejected the comfort of indulgence of his former life as prince. He resolved to sit under the Bodhi tree and meditate on these issues until the answers were, and these problems became clear. His revelation has been called the Four Noble Truths, summation of the cause of human suffering and the possibility and the path to enlightenment of all beings. Okay, so this is what we have discussed before. Okay, then the most important part is actually we have to do is the Buddha Vandana. This is where in the Buddha Vandana is where we will help you to answer, because like I've said, I do not know whether you all have seen the sample questions. The sample questions they ask you will be like I told you just now, why is the Buddha called the teacher of deathlessness? Why is the Buddha omniscient? These are the questions that I went through. I went through the questions, and these are the questions they ask you. They're talking about, is the Buddha omniscient? Why is the Buddha called the teacher of deathlessness? What else? I can't remember, but this kind of things they ask you. They're not asking you the life of the Buddha actually. Although our syllabus says the life of the Buddha, but they're asking you to use all these facts, and they're asking you about the origin of the world. What does the Buddha says on the origin of the world? And then but all this must be supported by Jataka stories. Jataka or from the, okay. So basically, when we did the senior course, I've encouraged you all to memorize this Itipiso Bhagava Arahang Samma Sambuddho Vijja Charana Sampanno Loka Vidu Anuttaro Purisa Dhammasarati Satta Deva Manussanang Buddho Bhagavati. Okay, I've asked you to remember that so that it helps you to remember the 9 qualities of the Buddha. That's where I have encouraged you all to join our chanting class, and we conducted a few lessons for you all. We will do that again, I think, after Chinese New Year, in February or so, we are starting a new class for beginners who wants to chant, so that you can remember the 9 qualities of the Buddha easier. Rather than you try to remember he's the worthy one, he's fully enlightened, his knowledge and conduct, knows when to speak, knower of the world, best teacher that can bring back, things like that. Teacher of gods and men, knows the Four Noble Truths, endowed with special powers. If you can chant this, Itipiso Bhagava Arahang Samma Sambuddho Vijja Charana Sampanno Sugato Loka Vidu Anuttaro Purisa Dhammasarati Satta Deva Manussanang Buddho Bhagavati, then you can list down that he is an Arahant. So the 9 qualities of the Buddha, remember he's an Arahant. Remember he's a Samma Sambuddho. Remember Itipiso Bhagava Arahang. First Arahang, Samma Sambuddho. Then he's a Vijja Charana Sampanno, he's a Sugato, he's a Loka Vidu, he's a Anuttaro Purisa Dhammasarati, then he's the Buddho Bhagavati. T is the last word lah. Bhagavati is finished, okay? So he's the Bhagava, okay? He's the Bhagava. So what does it mean by Arahant? I think we have covered that during our senior class, that he's a worthy one. We have explained what is a worthy one. We have said he's a Samma Sambuddho. What is a fully enlightened one? Remember earlier we said what's the difference between an Arahant, a Pachaka Buddha, and also a Samma Sambuddha. And Vijja Charana Sampanno, knowledge and conduct. He's excellent in knowledge and conduct. He's a great speaker, knows when to speak, knows of the truth. Then he's the best teacher who can bring about wayward people. Angulimala also, he can train Angulimala. Remember Angulimala's story? You can quote that here. Teacher of gods and men, you can quote that he has gone up to Tavatingsa heaven to teach Abhidhamma there. Okay, he knows that the Four Noble Truths, that is the principle, the core teachings of the Buddha, and is endowed with special powers. Okay, So this is the importance of learning a bit of the chanting, this protective chant, and then you can use them and explain. Now, just to tell you the difference lah, because it's Arahant and the Samma Sambuddha, Samma Sambuddha and an Arahant. Remember the first slide I showed you what is the difference between Arahant, the Pachaka Buddha, and the Samma Sambuddha. Arahant, when you are enlightened, you know you are just enlightened. The Samma Sambuddha and the Pachaka Buddha, they know beyond that, They know beyond that. The Buddha's knowledge is beyond people's comprehension. But he taught us, he's teaching us enough just for us to realize and for us to become an Arahant, for us to go to Nibbana. Okay, that's what little we learn. Remember, he says in the forest, he took a handful of leaves and said that this is more, or the leaves in the forest is more. They say live in the forest, Bante, but I'm teaching you only the leaves in the wrist, in my palm. That little I'm teaching you, although I know as much as the leaves in the forest, but you don't need to know so much. You don't need to know beginning of the world. You don't need to go and meditate to know until the beginning of the world, because the Buddha himself is born, and then he couldn't see the beginning also. So no point lah. So the Arahant is what people who learn from the Buddha Dhamma understood, fully understand the Four Noble Truths, fully understand the law of impermanence, realization of the Four Noble Truths, realization of impermanence. They are Arahants. They are the Arahants. Okay? And again here I always say that Buddhism is the only religion where we can taste our heaven when we are alive. I am assuming that Nibbana, I'm using the word heaven for us to understand more. So we can taste Nibbana when we are alive. You don't need to die to know Nibbana. You don't need to die to experience Nibbana. You can experience Nibbana when you are an Arahant, because you live without greed, hatred, and delusion. If you can live a life without greed, hatred, delusion, you are an Arahant. And that is realization, and that is enlightenment. That is our target as Buddhists. We just want to realize the Four Noble Truths. So that is an Arahant. Okay? A Samma Sambuddha, he knows more than that. Of course, he knows the beginning of the world, he knows everything. Omniscient is something else. It is part of our syllabus. We will learn omniscient later. Whether we agree he's an omniscient or not, we'll discuss later. Okay? So that's the difference of the Arahant and the Samma Sambuddha. Because you see here, they say he's an Arahant, he's a Samma Sambuddha. Okay? Okay, so during his search, let's not forget also during his search. Okay, any questions from here? Any questions or anything you want to ask quickly? This is just a revision for you all.
It's okay. I'm absorbing things, so it's all right.
Okay.
I'm sure the others have lots of questions too.
Yeah, correct. Okay. Okay, otherwise, if not, means I will want to visit this a bit for you all, the conversion of the Kassapa brothers. How many of you remember the Kassapa brothers?
The fire worshippers.
Yes, correct. So, okay, these are the fire worshippers. When the Buddha went to the Uruvela is a town where they were living. The Buddha went to Uruvela. There are three of these kind of ascetics, the brothers, the method hair kind of people, they call them the method hair. They are known as the Uruvela Kassapa, Nadi Kassapa, and the Daya Kassapa. They're all brothers, okay? And then the Uruvela Kassapa is very proud. He thinks he's an Arahant. That's why I define Arahant for you. Because those days, so he thinks he's an Arahant, and the Buddha is not an Arahant. So he was very proud. And the Buddha went there, the Buddha's approach is always very mild, very gentle. Remember, this is one of his qualities again. He approached there, then asked permission to live in their chamber where there is a serpent there. There's a snake there, So he asked permission to live in the fire chamber. There is a fierce serpent king. So they say this fellow must be crazy. He wants to stay there. Okay, let him stay now, So Uruvela Kassapa, the elders brother say, go ahead and stay. We can stay, but I tell you first, there's a very fierce serpent king there. So the Buddha stayed there. In the morning, the Buddha was okay. He was alive. He subdued the serpent king. He managed to subdue the serpent. Okay, this is generally briefly like you read on your own later. And then, of course, Urul Kasapa was very kind of surprised that Buddha survived there in the chamber, but he still did not believe that the Buddha was an arahant. He still think that he's an arahant. He's done it. Okay, yeah, he's got special powers. So he liked the Buddha very much. He says, okay, Buddha, you carry on staying with us now, you know. He liked the Buddha very much after that. He thought that the Buddha is just, has got special powers now. He's not an arahant. He's very proud. He thinks he's an arahant. So the Buddha continued to stay with him. So one day they've got a big party, they had a big festival going on, big festival going on. And then Uruvela Kasapa was quite concerned after that. Because Buddha became very popular, when Buddha stayed there, he became very popular. So Uruvela Kasapa was very worried that if the Buddha appears in the festival, during the festival, he will get all the attention of people. Correct? And then Uruvela Kasapa, they will just bypass him, you see. So he was very concerned, very disturbed by that fact. Then the Buddha knew, so the Buddha did not go to the festival. The Buddha knew, so the Buddha didn't go to the festival. And then in next month, so of course, Uruvela Kasapa was happy the Buddha didn't appear, so he got all the attention of the people. And then in the morning, Uruvela Kasapa asked the Buddha, why did you not come to the festival? And the Buddha says, because I know that you are concerned. If I were to appear, I will get all the attention and you won't get any attention. So for that reason, I kept away. Then he realized that the Buddha could read his mind. Then Uruvela Kasapa realized that he can read his mind. Oh, this man is even more powerful than me. He could read my mind, Then he accepted the Buddha as a teacher. Then his brothers all followed the Buddha. And then that's where the Buddha later preached the Aditta Pariyaya Sutta. The sutta all in flames. Everything is burning. You see, the Buddha is telling you, your eyes are burning, the objects are burning, your ears are burning, your sound is burning. You see, everything is burning. Your desire is burning inside you. The desires are all burning. So then the Buddha used what? Here is what do you think is important here is the parable of fire. So the Buddha also, the Buddha used parables a lot last time. So you can quote this as one of the examples where the Buddha used the parable and it can manage to convince. And then many of the people who went with him all became arahant. They were all followers of the Buddha, but when the Buddha preached on the parable of fire, the Aditta Pariyaya Sutta, they all became arahants. So this is where you can say that the Buddha is also a master of using parables and similes. And quote this Kasapa brother's conversion and the followers. So this is a very important sutta also for you. So with that, I think I will conclude now. I will conclude that for today. We will stop at this where the Buddha used parables. So next week, maybe we will talk about his achievement. This is just introduction to the life of the Buddha. Then we will talk about the 45 years of Buddha's contribution. That we need to use some of these facts later. Of course, we will still touch on his life history and then we will go back to the significance for his 45 years of contribution. How did he manage to survive for 45 years, preaching and teaching his Dhamma, and his Dhamma lasted for 2,600 years and still intact with us. Where is his contribution? So anybody has any questions to put in, to ask? So our approach will be more like that. It will be more that we will know the history, we will know the incident, and we will put in our ideas and how to use that to basically answer your exam questions. Because our syllabus is very broad. It says life history of the Buddha. And then the questions they ask you are very strange questions. I don't have them with me. Maybe I end my sharing, I can see now, Okay, anybody has any question before I end the sharing? The question that I remembered is they ask you, why is the Buddha known as teacher of deathlessness? So you have to know a lot of these things. And then they ask you, what is his, why is the Buddha a unique person? Okay, so it's not about life of the Buddha, you see, we ask you, why is Buddha known as a unique person? Another popular question they ask you is the Buddha omniscient? So these are the popular questions they ask now. So we have to learn the life history of the Buddha, so we can use these as examples to support our case. We need to support our case. We cannot just say that, oh, the Buddha is unique because he can do this, he can do that. But when did he do this? When did he do that? Did the Buddha encourage on miracles? No, the Buddha didn't do much miracles, Although in this case of Kassapa brothers, you can say that he did some miracles, but he didn't succeed to actually, even he did miracles to overcome the serpent king, did not convince Urula Kassapa yet. Not until he read his mind. Okay, so with that, we will also learn about the Jaya Mangala Gatha, then we will use all this as his contribution. Then why is he a unique person? So, okay, so my advice is for you to read the Jaya Mangala Gatha, so that we can continue to discuss on this. We can continue to discuss on why is the Buddha a unique person, what's his contribution of 45 years. These are the popular questions that actually I'm directing all our discussion to answer these questions. But you just choose one of the questions. The popular question is, why is the Buddha a unique person? Okay. Why is the Buddha known as the doctor of deathlessness? Is the Buddha omniscient? These are the three popular questions. Of course, more. The beginning of the world, I've only seen it once. For the past 10 years record, I checked, I only saw it once. Origin of the world. I don't think it's very important, but anyway, that didn't appear. What always appears is the qualities of the Buddha. Okay, you can also, they ask you the qualities, the 9 virtues, the 9 qualities of the Buddha, but support it with the Jataka story. Not just telling him he's an Arahan, Samma, Sambuddha, Vijacharana, Sampanno, Sukatolo, Kavidu, Anuttara, Purisa Dhammasarati. No. But you got to support this with the Jataka. When you say it's an Arahan, you try to find some, okay, Arahan, you find either the Jataka, the Dhammapada, or from the canon, from the Buddhist canon. All must be supported. So I'm telling all these stories, right? When you answer, you can support them from all these stories also. Okay, I think we have reached our time, isn't it? Are we supposed to start at 4 o'clock? Yes, isn't it? 4 o'clock, Okay, so before we do that, how many of us are in class today, I think they're taking attendance. I don't know how they're doing it. How many of us are in class?
21.
Oh, okay. How many did not come? Do we know? How many total registered? I'm not sure also,
35.
35 registered, Oh, that's very good. So, last year we only took 25 as maximum. But this year we're taking 40 as maximum. Very good. Okay. Yeah. And then out of these 35, some are from, I was told that 7 are new students who did not attend our senior class. Who are the 7, please? Tan CC, I think I've not met you before.
Yeah, newbie.
Yeah, correct. And then KP Tam, I don't think have we met before? Okay, no,
I'm new.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. So, am I going too fast for you all? Because I'm not repeating those things that I have discussed last year. Am I going too fast?
No problem.
You're good.
It's okay.
Because, okay, do some reading yourself also. Because, I only have six lessons with you all. 1.5 hours times 6. The Buddha lived for 45 years. So, I have to compress that into 9 hours. So, not easy also. So, we just tune this to answer your exam questions. So 45 years in 9 hours, not easy, but we try. And then Sister Pian Tan, you are new also, Sister?
No, I'm not new.
Oh, sorry, okay. So all the 7 new ones are not here, some are not here. And some of you all are I'm quite familiar. Kevin, I'm quite familiar. Chu San San, Song Tai, I think you have been with us, isn't it?
Brother T. There's Brother T.
Oh, okay. Lan Hun, Actually, okay, maybe okay, we shall finish in about 3 minutes time. Can we just go one round and everybody gives us a 10 seconds kind of introduction, Can we? Or I shall call you basing on my screen, Okay, Xin Ling Li, can you just take 10 seconds and tell us, a bit about you so that we will know. Am I going too fast for you all? Yes, sister?
Sorry, brother. Are you calling me?
Yes. I saw the picture now. Yes. Just introduce also yourself to us quickly.
Hello, hi. I'm okay with the lesson. Thank you.
Am I going too fast? But you have not attended our.
Yeah, I haven't attended senior, but my friend asked me to join the higher. I completed diploma studies with which is taking Buddhist and Pali syllabus last year, October 2022.
Okay.
So, but no, because it's a continuous learning, so I like to listen more. Yeah.
Yeah, our syllabus is quite different. I noticed compared to the syllabus on Kelania and Papua, you know. And this higher certificate, I find that they are also very useful. They are not talking about exporting knowledge to you all. It's about using what little we know, you know. What little we have known from the life of the Buddha, we try to interpret that. To enhance our knowledge that way. To understand it better, I think. So thank you very much, sister. Okay, who else? Next one, Doris. Just quickly introduce yourself. Thank you, sister.
Oh, I'm from senior last year, now joining higher to continue.
Okay, good. Yeah, okay. I'm very familiar with you.
Thank you.
So who's next now? Tan Sisi?
Hello, brother. To everyone. I'm new. Just joined for higher this certificate for the first time. Yeah, it's okay. It's not too fast, but I would like to have the notes so that I can go through again. If you can give me also the timetable so I can prepare in advance.
Yes. You don't have the timetable,
Sorry.
You don't have the timetable?
It was in the PowerPoint. I didn't get to snapshot. I mean, is it given in the group?
Should be given in the group, and the last year's lectures are all in the YouTube. You can refer there. But if you cannot get it, then let me know. Then maybe I'll send to you lah.
In the link, right? In the
Yes. It is good to review because otherwise I'm going too fast. I know. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, brother.